You know, the background music on these menus is like extremely peaceful.
Yeah, it's relaxing.
So that is very definitely, I could make it out when I was doing the editing. That definitely says new and is not like a teapot.
Okay, yeah. We're a little far, so.
Yeah, that definitely is like new. You can see it super clearly in the recording.
Yeah.
And I'm looking and I'm like, man, how did I ever think that was a teapot? And yet from here, it still looks like a teapot. It's incredible. What is that shot?
That.
I'm sure we're gonna find out. It kind of looked like a butt shot of something.
Oh, it's a moon. Look at that.
Oh God, you stay away. We don't have time to deal with you right now, Mooncell. Oh, are we following Alice doing her magic, whatever it was she was doing in the park?
Ooh. A robot? What?
Excuse me?
This is the 80s still, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Huh.
バックアップ開始レコード送信周囲の地形をスキャンします
Right.
大気成分
Okay, it's in the woods.
窒素異常なし
Oh, at least the nitrogen and oxygen levels are
アルゴ
nominal.
ン異常なし
And argon.
二酸化炭素異常なし
CO2.
第五
Right.
仮説要素
Oh.
異常
Theoretical fifth
Visual.
element. Anomalies.
あり周囲の時空連続体に齟齬を確認
Hey, hold on. When did the fourth Grail War take place? What year was
Oh,
that?
1999.
Oh, okay. Right. So we're still 11 years prior to that, so it's not like picking up Angry Matthew or anything.
Probably not.
第一種危険物との遭遇とは
Last one. That's
視覚領域を
Probably a
主
high
観か
threat.
ら客観に変更
uh-huh.
自立回路を予備電源に計測回路を主電源に変更カメラを赤外線計測から虚数線計測に変更
I, lowercase I.
Ah, right. So we've turned off the infrared filter and turned on the specifically Macintosh filter.
Or it's like imaginary element.
The I filter. It's the newest thing from Apple.
I see.
では
Oh, now it begins.
これより戦闘行為の記述を開始します主よどうか我が身を守りたまえ
Huh.
So is this like
A robot servant?
prototype Babbage?
It's a little similar, yeah. That's odd.
Proto Babbage, let's go. Anyway, let's just not explain that and focus on these
Oh.
trees.
Yeah, look at that. That's nice.
Misaki City was a thickly wooded area, at least on the outskirts, because we've seen the
Yeah.
main center of town and it's all just buildings.
Yeah.
Urban development continued unabated, but Mother Nature still drew breath in its outskirts.
Yep.
Wise old trees had been turned to lumber. The leaves had begun to turn to mulch. Even though the birds, who curiously tilted their heads, had moved on, the verdure lived on, a testament to its enduring strength.
Oh, Verger, yeah.
Yeah. Until the time came that the devouring light of civilization became powerful enough to encroach upon nature's mysterious domain. These woods were no exception. The outlying border between Misaki City and Misaki Hills had been left untouched. Though driven from their nests and dens here, wildlife continued to subsist even today. No longer able to return to the days before man, this was just like any other forest situated next to a town.
Yeah. That's a little creepy.
Please continue. I want to hear you do the rest of that in broken English. Winter had arrived in the woods. The chill cut like a razor. The icy air so thick it could reach to one's
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, it's fine. Exposed cheeks stiffened and wisps of breath formed swirls in the air before disappearing. It was 1 degree above freezing.
Oh, wow. 1 degree Celsius above freezing, I guess.
Well, that's warmer than 1 degree Fahrenheit above freezing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's a little better.
Right?
Yeah, a degree
Just
Celsius
barely.
is bigger. It's about 1.8 times bigger than a degree Fahrenheit.
Yeah, well, plus you add 32.
Well, that's the total temperature, but...
So, like, 1 degree Celsius.
If
No,
it was...
that is warmer than 1 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, because the degree is bigger in Celsius.
'Cause that's about, like, 33-ish degrees F.
Yeah.
As opposed to 1 degree F, which is, like, minus 20 or something.
Oh, 1 degree.
Not quite.
Oh, jeez.
Because I know minus 40 is minus 40.
Oh, that's where they line up?
Yeah, they cross over at minus 40.
Ah, okay.
And 0 is 32.
Yeah.
So 1 should be somewhere in the middle-ish.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
The cold snap penetrated every nook and cranny of the woods, from the ground to the trees to the wildlife to the kill robot that is hanging out for some reason.
Oh. Oh, yeah, that's neat with the trees in the foreground there.
Very nice parallax scrolling.
Mm-hmm.
The forest allowed nobody entry during the day. If you tried, the trees just bitch slapped you backwards like, fuck you, sit down. During the winter, it willed the animals to slumber. You see, the trees were actually mages, and they're like, hey, sleep. The still evening air felt like the stagnant breath of the lingering dead. The forest consumed the moonlight, obscuring the sight of even the closest of precipices, and hastening the untimely doom of any soul unfortunate enough to become lost within.
I see, okay.
The only noises to be heard were the whisperings of the wind and the murmurings of the stream.
Mm-hmm.
The immortal darkness stifled any sense of life. Not the breath of an animal, much less that of a person, was drawn in this place. However, a figure in black, not of this place, skulked within.
There's a church bell in the background now.
It cast the tiniest, frailest of shadows, like a small boat lost in a sea of fog.
Yep, there it is.
Its trepidatious footsteps echoed through the woods. There, exiting the veil of trees, was the unmistakable likeness of a young girl.
To see such cleft under this away with the spoon.
What? I heard spoon, but I don't know if the rest of that was in English.
来たぞ来たぞいるぞいるぞ
Are we getting like the Utano wall shadow people now?
I think those might be demons or
誰が
something.
誰が誰と誰がお腹は減ったのお腹はなったさ
Looks like it could be a
どっ
demonic
ちが食べ
boar.
るどっちも食
Wolf.
べる君は左手お前は右手歓迎しないと感激しないと何しろようやく楽しいお客ついでにお腹と頸骨もせっかくだからよく噛まないと
The shadows in the trees laughed ominously.
Yeah.
A hallucination? An illusion? Or perhaps something real? The shadows frolicked in time to the girl's pace.
さあさあさあさあもっと奥へもっと奥へ ところでダイスは細工済み？お腹の重いローレット。
Huh.
端っこかじったエッジワーク。どうでもいいけど肝心要の6の目だけは出さないように。
The hell are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm kind of confused there.
Also, hey Alice, how you doing? The girl knitted her eyebrows. Sounds painful. Those needles are huge. She heard voices and felt the presence of things that should not be. Scary enough to frighten this particular girl? As if.
Wow.
Her tightly pursed lips betrayed not a hint of fear. The girl walked of her own volition. If she had truly felt fear, her legs would be frozen, deep within the trees.
It's a different sentence. So deep within the trees.
If you get scared, your legs get teleported in the trees. She was perfectly aware of the two humanoid figures stalking her through the still night air.
Those were
見
humanoid?
たぞ見たぞ。来るぞ来るぞ。もう諦めろ。もう帰れない。あんなに教えてあげたのに。よそに消えないお前が悪い。
The girl halted her steps. Racket from the accompanying voices died in turn. The babbling brook suddenly sounded like a crackling fire. And then, across the shallow stream, something appeared that should not exist in the city, much less these woods.
Okay.
こんばんは。話のわかる人はいる？
The girl addressed them, calmly. These men with their Glasgow grins creeped towards her like two slugs.
That's not a phrase you hear often.
そう。ただの墓守り。監視だけが仕事なのね。失敗したわ。これなら青子に任せればよかった。
Because it's less dangerous than you thought?
I thought you just made Aoko stay home and do, like,
Well,
hypnosis
she's-
spells because she sucks at magic.
Oh, well.
ああ。けど。
The one grinning man stood still. The other, shaking violently as if unable to contain himself any longer, turned toward the girl.
青子にはまだ荷が重いわね。そんな姿だけど、あなたたちは一人前の魔術師のようだし。
Oh,
Her black outfit stirred.
what is that thing?
In her right hand, she held a vitreous cat.
What? What is that? Oh, is that the cat charm?
Darker than the deepest night.
Looks kind of green to me. Oh, well, it's...
The two Glasgow men let out a yelp of caution and incoherent fear. It was at this moment that they knew they had fucked up.
Yeah, basically.
That they finally bared their intent and
さ
emotion.
ようなら、お客様。
Well, aren't you their guest? Hold on.
I think
きっと一瞬だ
she
ろう
owns
か
the land here.
お別れだけ言っておくわ。
Oh.
The two shuddered at her words. They had no mouths, nor ears, or brains to begin with. For creatures like these, words were redundant. All that existed was the present. For these soulless creatures, fears and hopes were nothing more than an unimaginable future. Then what could be this feeling of foreboding they felt? The spine-chilling miracle that would rip them to pieces not moments from now.
さあ、ごっこ遊びをしましょう。
Okay.
お人形さん。
You get to imagine you living tonight.
See, the problem with there being other Nasuverse things that don't involve servants
Oh,
is
yeah.
that you have mages here that would absolutely slaughter the goddamn hell out of everyone we see in Stay Night.
I mean, yeah, probably.
Like, I've not even seen her really do anything yet, and I'm pretty fucking sure Alice could take Rin in a second.
Maybe.
Unless Rin got in close and punched her in the face.
Well, yeah, that's sort of the thing.
Her song sounded like a bell, echoing through the white woods. The girl's voice vanquished the frost that had gripped the trees. And then... I mean, that's the other thing about Stay Night coming, like, after this and Tsukihime, where they're like, there's no human alive that could fight a servant.
Well...
And you're like, you sure about that? You sure that's a fucking fact?
Well, it's more like extremely unlikely and relies on a decent amount of luck and preparation.
Shiki can literally kill anything. That's his thing.
See, they addressed that. The thing with Mystic Eyes is, yes, you could kill a servant if you could trace the lines, but you're limited by your human biology and you're just not as fast. Like Kuhulin, Shiki would be dead before he could even look at the lines. It would be so fast he could never possibly react to it. That's his limitation.
Yeah, but he's also got Arcene, and she could absolutely react.
She would, yes. She would keep Shiki going, but in a 1v1, Shiki would just die.
Well, I mean, the thing is, though, when you bring the servants into it, it's not a 1v1. It's a master and servant v master and servant, typically. So,
yeah,
if you just
in
treat,
a Grail War
if you just treat Arcene like, like a servant.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying if they were to have to fight alone for some reason.
The other thing that they very clearly stated in Stay Night is that there is no way that a human was going to kill a servant in one of those fights. And
I mean, of course it happened, but
yeah,
because there's always exceptions,
but Shiki would have had like no trouble. All he would have needed to do was a servant stall long enough for him to see the lines, and bam, he kills the enemy servant.
Yeah, it's
not
possible. It's just not likely. So, I mean,
and
we're
here's
dealing with
Stay Night making these declarative statements about things that are blatantly already false in universe.
I don't know. We need to see what she does so far.
I don't think she could take a servant necessarily, but I'm sorry.
So those things were yours?
You have mechanical pig demons?
Oh, that's that pig-looking thing we saw. Those are her familiars, I guess? Huh.
The curtains opened on Diddle Diddle, the banquet of the night.
Is that what you call it?
So is that like it must be like some kind of mystic code, right?
I'm guessing it's a mystic code, yeah.
Because
the fact that it's named like that.
In confusion, one slit-mouthed man swooped toward the girl. In fear, the other fled into the woods behind him.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, I'ma get you, essentially, Black Ilya.
Kinda.
It's the same outline, it's just black instead of white.
Similar coat and hat.
She already knew what this fiend was. The grinning figure had scissors for hands and a demon's heart. It was a wretch who kidnapped children, mercilessly rendering them into pieces.
So that's what happened.
I feel like the word you wanted was rending there, not rendering.
Yeah.
Like you're not like
yeah.
cooking the fat out of them into pieces.
Right, yeah, you're slicing.
But... finalizing their video production into pieces. Like,
yeah.
I definitely feel like you wanted rend there, not rendering, but okay.
I get what they mean. Oh. Like Tweedle A and Tweedle B.
What is a Tweedle?
That, apparently. Oh. Wow, actual motion. Look at that.
The piglets bounded and rebounded like paddle balls. The stuffed animals over 3 feet... Stuffed animals!
Oh, they're just plushies, the magical powers?
They're clearly wearing metal armor. What the fuck?
Oh, okay, yeah, maybe it's a...
Over 3 feet in length, jumped and weaved their way between the trees.
Oh, blade arms.
Okay, those are knife hands, not scissor hands.
Maybe they meant like a scissor motion, like he has to use both arms and, chop.
Even with these strange creatures before him, the grinning man did not so much as blink. Yeah, that's the knife arm demon from fucking Chainsaw Man. That's what that is. He raised his arms, but what emerged from his coat sleeves were not the human appendages you would expect.
Well,
because he had scissor hands. We already established this.
That.
In their place, fiendish cleavers. Okay, they're cleavers now.
Huh.
More than 1.5 feet in length. These appendages, which had torn so much of their prey to pieces, sliced cleanly through the flying pigs' skulls.
Oh. Well, it sliced, and then...
His limbs froze
Caught
in
you.
place. It's like, ha ha. The pigs' bodies were sliced perfectly in half. And then, bisected from head to tail, the pig's innards became as alligator jaws and clamped down upon the grinning man's arms. From fingertips to shoulders, they were swallowed whole. It was all it took to rob the man of control over his entire body.
Oh, there's an eye in that mouth thingy?
So it would seem.
Whoa, okay.
Another shiver of fear. These were no mere pig familiars. Immediately he realized that these were stapler monsters, disguised as mere pigs.
Stapler monsters, what?
捕まえたのはダムでした。
捕まえたのは D だってば。
ああでも残念。ご主人様は無口で無情で無関心。
結局どっちの手柄も同じこと。
London Bridge is broken down, broken down.
Okay.
Broken down.
Impossible! Its presence murmured 3 times. Not possible. Not possible. Not... possible?
Yeah, now it's questioning.
Talking pigs were one thing. Even having one's arms chomped off was in the realm of occupational hazard. In an instant, the wood was enveloped in a dense wave of magical energy. Though vexing, it was still impressive. None of these facts were particularly extraordinary. These rare familiars, their bizarre attack, the sheer innate magical energy to overwhelm others. He had experienced with all these things. His employer was skilled enough to achieve all of this as well. However,
どうするどうする？いつまで放置？
手足一本、瞬きだって贅沢だ。